Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another video with Brooklyn. Today is January 19th, 2021, and I'm just going to jump right into the video. I'm going to wish you all a terrific Tuesday. I hope you all enjoyed your day off, your holiday, for the sacrifices that Martin Luther King made for the country as a whole. I know he marched for equality for the black race, but at the end of the day, he was marching for equality for all. Okay? A lot of times we think that, well, Martin Luther King died, he laid his life down, he fought for the black community, he fought for the black race, he fought for people of color, but Martin Luther King fought for everyone because during his time, there were interracial relationships. They were hiding. A lot of them were hiding. People wouldn't accept them. They wouldn't give the white husbands jobs, They wouldn't give the black wives jobs because she was married to a black man. They wouldn't congregate with them. They wouldn't interact with them in social activities or anything. So Martin Luther King was fighting for all because they were in bondage too. Everyone of the European race was not against people of color. Some were married to them. Some had children with them. So they were being mistreated. A lot of them marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. So I hope you all understood and understand why he made this sacrifice, and I firmly believe that he was prepared to die. I believe that he was doing a work for God. He was doing a work for the Lord without a doubt, because the average Joe is not going to get out there and do all them things and knowing that in the end, the consequence could be death. Most people are afraid to go out there and speak the truth. And I think you have to be built for that. I think you have to be geared up for that. And I think he has to prepare a person for that. Okay? And even though a lot of these ministers today, they are out here and they are preaching, but they're not preaching what God gave them to preach as the truth. They're preaching lies and falsehood. Okay? They are preaching segregation. They are preaching, other gods before the true living God. A lot of these preachers today, they hold Trump as a god. Franklin Graham, I'm not going to go all the way into detail. I'm going to come back and do a video about it. But Franklin Graham actually compared Trump to Jesus. Okay? We all know Jesus Christ came. He died. He healed the sick. He raised the dead. He came that we might have life and have it more abundantly. He came to bring people together. Okay? At that time, the Jewish people were the chosen people. You can't get mad and say, well, why did God choose the Jews? Jesus was a Jew. Okay? So your race would be your chosen people. You're not going to choose somebody outside of your race. They were the chosen people. Okay? But Jesus came and integrated everybody so that we will all have a chance at eternal life. These ministers are teaching segregation. Franklin Graham put Jesus Christ and Trump on the same level. He said that the Republicans that voted against Trump was just as Judas was to Jesus. Okay? He said that the Republicans took 30 pieces of silver from the Sadducees and the Pharisees, just like Judas took 30 pieces of silver. He said that they took them from the Democrats. The Republicans took the 30 pieces of silver from the Democrats, just like Judas took the 30 pieces of silver from the Sadducees and the Pharisees. Okay? Back in those days, the Sadducees and the Pharisees was like Republicans and Democrats. But they were both against Jesus because they were jealous of him because he was doing miracles that they could not perform. That's what Trump is. Trump is jealous of Biden because people like Biden. They don't like him. It's the same setting, just over 2,000 years difference, okay? But I just want people to understand, we talking about Martin Luther King, what sacrifices that he did. Of course, he was not Jesus. You can't compare anyone to Jesus. Everyone has their own history and their own accomplishments in their own right. But no one can compare to Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, no one. Okay? No one can compare to Moses. No one can compare to Satan. He has his own little category. you know? But this man, Franklin Graham, is teaching his congregation that Trump and Jesus are on the same level. So you have to be geared up to preach. Everyone that's preaching is not called to preach. They're not called to do the will of the Lord. A lot of them are in it for the money, for the business. You know, I believe Martin Luther King was in it because he wanted fair treatment. He was in it for the right reason. Even though he lost his life, in the end, I believe that he was ready for it. He said he had been to the mountaintop and he's seen the glory of God. I can't remember his speech, but he's seen it. He said he's been to the mountaintop. His eyes have seen the glory. His eyes have seen it. You know, he was not afraid to die. He was prepared for it. You know, and that's how we should live our life. We should live our life for the glory of the Lord and be prepared, because there are consequences when you do right. There's consequences when you do wrong, and there are consequences when you do right. Okay? Let freedom reign. They are trying to put people into bondage now. Martin Luther King came to help people get out of bondage. Okay? He's comparing Trump to Jesus Christ. These are totally two different men, because Jesus Christ was a man when he was on earth. He was a man. So those are two different men. Trump and Jesus Christ were two different men that did two different works. One was a great man, and this other one here is a piece of trash. He's a piece of trash. You cannot compare any man to the love of Jesus Christ. There's no way. No one can love you and take care of you and want the best for you better than Jesus. He's all about love. These Europeans that's chanting they love Jesus, they're worshiping the wrong Jesus, because the one that they're worshiping is not the Jesus Christ that I know. That picture that you have hanging up in your house with the long blonde hair and the blue eyes, that's not Jesus. He was not European. Jesus Christ was of Jewish descent. Mary and Joseph was Jewish. And Joseph, we know the story. I'm not going to go all into it, but I want you all to have a terrific Tuesday. I want you all to try to just remain free in your mind and your spirit and your body. Don't let anybody bind you up. You know, be free. If you're bound up in your body and you're sick, ask for healing. You know, pray for healing. Work on yourself. If you're bound up in your spirit and your mind, pray. You know, try to get yourself from being bound down. These things that's going on in our lives right now can cause you to feel like you are bound down, that you are tied up. You know, people don't want to go out because of the coronavirus. They don't want to go to the stores. It's like you're being held hostage in your own house. A lot of people are fearful right now. They don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, today, let alone. But you have to walk on in faith and just be mindful, you know? So that being said, I'm going to say vielen Dank. That's thank you very much in German. So vielen Dank for watching me. And choose, that's what? That's bye in German.